Lucia?
Just in time, Cicero.
What are you? Lucia!
Oh. Interesting, they're still on my team. I kind of figured we'd all be on different... I thought these things worked for her, I thought that was the whole point. Because doesn't she work for the Herald? And these things work for the Herald, but now it's on my team and we're fighting the Chimera with them? Weird. Well, I'm sure we've got this, because these things seem unkillable. Do they even take damage? Oh, oh yeah, never mind, now they're taking damage. Their focus was just so strong I never saw them actually taking real damage. Oh no. So that's like a giant damage zone to watch out for. Let's just work on reviving this guy. Oh, I'm dead. Well, that's not good. For a number of reasons. This kind of fell apart. Revive more, better, faster.
Just what I need.
There we go. Thank goodness for revives, right? Oh look, I'm safe. And now I'll go revive this guy. I got this. We'll be fine. He's at 20% health. But yeah, that escalated quickly, to say the least. Hey, come on now. Oh wait, he's automatically acquiring a target. Go after the bad guy. What are you doing?
She'd better have an explanation for this.
She better have an explanation for this. I mean, she seems to be taunting us into running up on her explanation anyway. Let's see. Gain more mask ultimate when charge is spent, or... Dirge... Oh. So he gets the... He can get all the various forms of mask charge regeneration simultaneously. That's absurd. Let's get the extra twister. On we go, everyone! Oh wait, I should check the room for a mask in the corner. You hiding things from me, game? It's the wrong button. Who got the new mask? Was it... Not you. Everyone's kind of got a red, the yellow spot. Oh, that's just for having new skills. Why won't you click on her? Weird. Weird. The menu was acting really strangely just now. I was pressing the arrows, and the arrows were not making the screen... it changed characters, it was just making the screen scroll around down here. But then clicking on people changed characters. Then clicking on people stopped changing characters, and then the arrow became how you change characters. That was weird. So we have 2 new masks for Amadea to get converted. But they have to be decorated, of course. She has twice the options all of a sudden. Good thing I checked. I wonder if I've missed any yet.
This is it, then? Well, I suppose it was nice knowing you two. Huh.
Was not expecting, gestures from them. So one way or another, they displayed problem solving, or at least information recall, and they did like a human gestures of some kind.
Ages.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
You just tried to kill me.
No. I knew you'd survive. I just wanted to show you how powerful they were. And now you've seen. I promise there's no ambush this time. Just you and me.
I hope you've prepared your answers.
In Ombric, we'd call it Barotti. They were once one of the Domesticate's many weapons. These were carriers of Mascherines, built to use them to fight, expand their empire.
How?
They use Mascherines without fear of salting. They might not use the Medea very well, but untamed fire will still burn.
They were effective?
The Domesticate Empire spanned the entire continent. Altamir, Evamus, Lystra, everything.
Forming the Dactytes, getting the artifacts, fishing up ancient weapons. Why?
What this city needs is a proper leader.
What are you planning?
Simura's crown is too volatile to juggle, and too large to overthrow. There is only one other avenue.
You want to topple the registry?
Yes. Once the crown sees the power we wield, believe me, they will submit. And if they don't...
Are you listening to yourself? The streets will run with blood if you...
A necessary price.
For what?
Another cataclysm. Another is coming, Cicero. The lady has foreseen it. And the city will not survive it unless it stands united.
Again, the lady. Why do you keep...
She led me to this. This is the heart. One piece to creating Mascherines.
How?
She is Fae.
Fae. They are mindless.
They used to be Dementicati.
Impossible.
Don't tell me you don't see it. When Mascherines are destroyed, what is left behind?
Mists.
Yes! Mascherines, Dementicati, Fae. All things of this land, all with secrets from the past.
This is madness.
Cicero!
Enough, Lucia.
Listen to me, Cicero!
Enough!
Remember, you came here of your own accord. Think what it would mean to try to stop me with the powers I have on my side. Powers you can scarcely even begin to understand. What it would mean for your friends.
You would not hurt them?
Not if I didn't need to. And you know them. You can keep them out of harm's way. Or you can drag them into the deep with you.
Where do we begin?
The first thing you must do is learn the histories of the land. The knowledge the Vegulas have on the Dementicati is but a fraction of the truth. This will teach you everything you need to know about the ancient people. Then you will truly understand. Until then, however, we must...
Cicero! We need to go.
What's going on?
The Portieri, they followed you. We tried to...
Do not let the traitor leave!
Defend me!
Well, that went to shit fast. Also, why do I have to choose a party? Aren't they all here? I guess it's the two I control. I assume they all are gonna be here still, right? I'm quite partial to these two characters, because he's got healing powers and he's got ranged attacks, and that works nicely. Obviously, Amadeus is very adjacent to my own abilities, and she's just kind of a tank, but he's also kind of a tank, but he has heals. Yeah. I guess I assume the other two are just going to be doing whatever they do. So, big revelations here, by the way. So, it's actually, and what's interesting is it's foreshadowed, because, yeah, we know that the Fae come out of the mist, and we know that, yeah, the masks just dissolve. So, the idea that the Dementicati are essentially immortal, as far as we can tell, their essence is capture these Mascherines, which then escapes into these Fae, and some of these Fae are expressing human-like characteristics, and one of them is apparently even a leader of some sort. But then you gotta wonder, because she's looking up to this lady character, but didn't we also discover potentially that the Dementicati were all prisoners, and they were all the dregs of society? So maybe it's not such great news to be taking orders from them or listening to them, because they might have nefarious goals. That is, if they even have free will anymore. What if all of their consciousnesses are all merging, and you get weird partial forms where it's like, this Fae is actually the remnants of 7 different people, in which case maybe the lady is some sort of weird special manifestation of a bunch of different consciousnesses that has achieved some form of more effective sentience. I don't know. Hi. Fight? Who's on my team? Okay, so we are still staying on their team then. Things are just gone out of hand, so now we have to fight all the purples. Is she here in the fight? I think she ran away, didn't she? I don't see her now. Well, that escalated. What do we have here? Birati. Beings of stone. brought to life by the magics of the Mascherines. The Birati were one of the many ancient weapons of the Meticate. They had the ability to use Mascherines without fear of salting, and when they were destroyed, the Mascherines would remain in their wake. And it was power unbridled, and now they have returned. Good luck, us! Also, let's get you out of... Specifically get you out of that attack. It's not standing that. Also, let's get you out of the way of that attack. A lot of directional attacks happening right now. Enjoy my panicked running around as I just try to get various characters out of attack range. Oh, he's channeling, so I can't get him out of it. Oh, Cicero's way down here. I should at least try to group our characters together to an extent. Yeah, let's help Calden if I can. Oh, they're going down reasonably fast. Presumably there's just so many allies around here that it increases our chance of survival across the board. Ooh, let's do our AoE. That'll be fun. Oh, he's taking damage. Did not mean to do that. There we go. Let's just keep your distance and you'll be okay. Calden's having trouble?
The creatures are too strong. Bring down the pillars.
What?
Are you deaf, Valencio?
Sir, we have men.
We cannot let the traitor live.
Sir Cicero is still there.
I don't care. Now do it.
Yes, sir.
That's rough. At one point he was kind of putting himself across as being really likable and like a benevolent leader of some kind that had the right thing in heart. Now he's coming across as rather ruthless, isn't he?
They're bringing the place down!
We need to get out of here!
That slam! Get up, everyone! What are you? I said get on!
Ow! Pain. I'm trying. Ow! Stop it. I guess are there shadows I can up now? The hitbox is weird. I saw the shadow and I was like, I'll avoid that, but it's so abrupt. Oh, come on. This is silly.
What are you doing? There's only one way out of this, and it is up. You cannot lift us all up. I can try. It has been tried, Bosco, hundreds of times, and everyone who has tried has salted. Thankfully, this is my first attempt. Bosco! I will not abandon you. Not this time. What? Now, be a dear and keep the falling rocks away from me.
I can show you the world.
Jump! Bosco! Can you hear me? He's salting. He needs help.
The Esticuary. Elena has some herbs that might help.
I'll get the coach.
Hang in there.
How is he?
His body has stabilized.
And everything else?
He isn't awake yet. I had to give him a mixture of Redsworth and Avondale to stop the seizures.
How long?
The next few minutes. That combination is potent, but it doesn't last very long.
How did you know?
Elena heard you taking one of the horses. She told us, and we followed you to the Sunken Star. I wanted to go in after you, but Vasco said you needed space.
And the portiere?
We weren't the only ones who were chasing your tail. Not long after we arrived at the Sunken Star, we saw Portiere approach. That's when we decided to go in after you.
How did they know?
Vasco suspects that Avestus sent someone to follow you, too. He probably suspected that you were hiding something. And you were.
I told you this investigation might bring us to darker places.
So?
I failed before. The War of Bearings, Lysandra, Razatov, all failures, all because I'm not good enough.
You think you're responsible for us?
I'm in charge of this investigation. Where I go, so do you.
Because I want to! And I'm sure I speak on behalf of at least two of the others when I say that. You say that you feel responsible for us. Then think about us. How do you think we feel when you run off with your secrets like that?
Calden, you don't know what we're going up against.
And still, I choose to stay, to follow you. Now you think about what that means.
Bosco.
He's got a point. They aren't soldiers that are along because they have to be. Well, most of them. Obviously, one character is literally a soldier who has to be here. But everybody else is just here. Lucia Sharia, too. Of course the lady would choose her as her pawn. Her conviction, the one thing that separated her from the rest of us, has proven to be her undoing. It has been twisted and corrupted and is now being used by the lady. It frustrates me because I can see in her eyes her belief is that she is doing what is right. And knowing her, the belief ranks among the most immovable things in the world. But I must try to shake it, still. There must be some way I can convince her that what she's doing is wrong. Some way I can make her see. I know not what the way into her heart and mind is, but I must try to find it. For her sake. Tristan Dalzol 3. I will be honest, never before have I thought that my friendship with Tristan would cause me so much grief. What he did at the Quiet Order was painful enough, but now, though I may have survived the ordeal, I am unsure if I could say the same about our friendship. It was tested, but I believe it has failed us both. That's rough. He was ordered, though, so while he's perhaps in the wrong for following the order, but at the same time, he was ordered, so there's definitely another person to be angry at.
Bosco? Bosco, listen to me. Bosco! Can you hear me? If you understand me, nod. Good. Now calm down. Everything will be all right. What is it?
I can't.
You can't speak.
Why?
Bosco, stop.
Why? Cicero.
Bosco, please.
No! Why?
You salted.
Salt dead.
In the ruins. To get us out.
I remember. For you.
I know. I know.
Please. Go.
What is the outcome of this? Like, what happens to him ultimately is the question. Can you recover from this? I guess we'll find out for that entry we got just a moment ago, because we've had reference to salting before, but I don't think we've got a proper description yet. The lady. Lucia is right. I believe her. I believe that the lady is Dimenticate, that she is of the old world, that she knows more than we do. I cannot run from that any longer. My worry now does not revolve around the authenticity of Lucia's claim, but rather our response to it. How are we going to fight something that exists on a different plane altogether? Whatever it is, the fact that she has not destroyed us completely, despite her powers, must count for something. Dwelling on this isn't going to bring forth any answers. We must keep looking forward. Salting. My father always used to tell me that all things in the world were fair. I don't believe I have quite come to agree with the sentiment, although I do appreciate that he was trying to sweeten our lot in life with his words. I will, however, agree that with that point when it comes to power in this world, Always, there are consequences to wielding power, losses that come in various forms. It is no different with Mascherines. Despite the abilities that Mascherines bestow, tapping too deeply into the powers of a Mascherine has crippling side effects. There is a threshold that the Vegulists have come to identify, crossing which a Masquerada undergoes a process called salting, named so because of how apparently similar the effects are to overdosing on a drug called stone salt. The effects differ marginally from case to case, but in general, when a Masquerada salts, their mind is rent and torn apart. Few recover enough to continue functioning normally. No victims have ever had the process reversed. Why exactly we salt is, like many other aspects of Mascherines, unknown. But the Vegulists have shown that it is possible to, through practice of the media, push back one's salting point. So he essentially had a stroke, more or less. The idea you seizure and your body shuts down and you permanently lose capabilities as a human being, and you may recover to some extent, but you never quite get to where you were before. Which is basically the most horrifying concept in the world sometimes.
Inspectore.
I guess we're not having conversations with people today.
Where are you going?
Does he think he's gonna go figure out how to reverse salting? Bye, everyone, I guess. Oh.
What are you doing?
Cicero! What is...
My arm, please.
Will you please explain yourself?
Thank you.
Inspectore, what are you...
Quiet, please.
What is he doing?
Shaith. He's creating a fae.
What's he done?
Amadea, tell it we mean no harm.
My Dominica isn't that...
Try.
Shaista? Iguan? Tufisgar?
Sen Arthafwil, Tugok?
What's it saying?
The words that it's using are more archaic than what I've studied.
Come on, Amadea, you've got more than that.
Rish?
Sen Arthafwil, Tugok.
I don't know.
Try harder. Surely there must be something you can...
Why do you call?
You can understand it.
Ask it if it knows about the artifacts.
Vilafis, Treror.
Iga Sathem.
Vel.
Vel.
What's it doing?
Lost.
Bosco, we need to find the artifacts.
Ikara, Treror.
Treror. Is.
Does it know where they are?
Ishas?
Legdom Dwil. Legdom Ifas.
Let me go. Let me see.
It needs to get its bearings again.
We need its word that it will not abandon us.
It's a fae, Inspectore. You can't trust it.
Yes, we can. Its word.
Havar Gershen, Tuartesh.
Domwil Atir.
On its... on...
Honor.
Yes.
Let it go.
You're insane.
Let it go.
Tudwil.
Melroy, Will.
I hope it knows to keep the shadows.
It will be back
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Vasco.
Good night.
He's broken.
But he is strong. He will piece himself together, somehow.
And he is also right. It's getting very late.
Too late for an explanation. I have many questions, Inspectore, but...
I'll answer them tomorrow.
Good. Then, I suppose we should call it a night.
Cal,
Something's happened?
What is that about?
I know better than to pry, sir.
No.
It's late. Vint, you can spend the night.
That went from 0 to we're talking directly to Faye now, very quickly. Oh, I guess we don't get to find out what it says yet. I do have new masks to check in on, though, so let's check in on you. So currently she has Amadea turns the ground within 15 meters into pools of quicksand rooting enemies. Her other option was to get 2 summons. She can now get Tectonic Phase. As caster moves, they absorb geothermal energy from the ground, recovering 2% of their maximum focus per meter for 15 seconds. Or Grotescus. Turns to stone and taunt nearby enemies for 5 seconds. When the caster's in this form, they cannot move, become immune to damage, and heal for 10% of their maximum hit points per second. That's a lot of healing. That's a lot of healing. That's neat. I like the summon a lot, though. Did somebody else have one? Somebody else had like a half... It was Calden. They had the half mask. Channels the power of water, increasing the caster's attack speed by 20% for 10 seconds. Yeah, despite being called Mask Ultimates, a lot of these effects are rather innocuous and not particularly freaky. It's like, oh wow, 20% attack speed for 10 seconds. Game changer. It's not bad, it's just not amazing, necessarily. I think I'd rather have 50% damage reduction, although it is technically less time. But that big spike of taking less damage across the entire party. If the entire party had increased speed, that'd be kind of neat. But that's not exactly what's happening there.
You don't know why she wants to see you.
The head matron doesn't summon her people to the Hall of Songs unless it has to do with their legacies.
It's the journal, isn't it?
Ah!
Calm down, Cal.
How? I am this close to losing everything.
What are you talking about?
I don't... Orlana has had one goal since Jaxus died. To find out how and why.
And this journal has the details.
And more. Jaxus wanted to tell the world about us. To use the Sail Heart as evidence that we do leave legacies behind. That we deserve our space on the Singing Tree. He was tired of hiding. Of living a lie, of being safe. He asked me if I would stand with him in this. In fear, I told him that he spoke words of idiocy. That he was being selfish. That night he drank until he could not see reason. I found his body in the back alleys of a tavern the morning after. Tavern owner said he'd picked the wrong fight.
I'm so sorry. When was this?
It's only been a year. But it feels so much longer.
And the journal?
I wrote in it every day for half a year. About the incident. About what I would have done different. About how much I miss him.
You could claim ignorance. Say that she wrote the entries to frame you.
It won't work.
Why?
Jaxus gave me this. It's an embellished Dementicate glyph for the sunset.
The sunset?
As a symbol of the meeting of two entities that were worlds apart, sun and sea, and how beautiful they were together. In the journal, I wrote about how he gave me this tattoo and what it means. The matron will see through the lie if I tell her the journal was fabricated. She will know. And I will lose everything. I will see you tomorrow.
Well, it's probably safe to call this the low point of the entire story. Where everyone's at their lowest point. And everyone's having their storylines falling apart. Well, the people who can. Technically, Amadei already lost the person in her storyline a while ago, and our spy friend hasn't had much going on this entire time, really, but he's on the verge of losing everything. Vasco's body's falling apart, and we've been betrayed by one of our friends outside of the group, and the very person we were working for was willing to kill us to get what they wanted. We've had major revelations and so on and so forth. Day 3, Part 5. The Fae has been created. I have sent it out to find us our next lead, and I am certain it will return. It has been a while since I have penned in detail our exploits, but the weight of a heavy heart is not confined to the breast. I now must make the attempt at recording all that has passed. Lucia is the herald, and she believes that a Fae called the Lady has the ability to lead the city in order to defend it against another cataclysm. I do not know enough about the cataclysm yet to be so quickly convinced. However, in fact, it seems more likely that that is a lie. I hate it when that is used twice in a sentence, but it's so unavoidable sometimes. Our language is dumb sometimes. In fact, it seems more likely that that is a lie fed to her by the Lady in order to frighten her into action. The powers of the Lady are impressive. They led Lucia to the heart, one of the Treror. I know not how or when it came into her possession, but surely it was the Lady that brought her to it. Though I know it plays a role in the creation of Mascherines, I know not exactly what that role is. I am certain, however, that it hasn't much power on its own. If it did, Lucia would have demonstrated it. What better way to convince me of its capacity? The fact that she did not is enough for me to believe that her possession of the artifact hasn't created an insurmountable power gap. That's scary, by the way. If you can just create Mascherines, now that we know that creating Mascherines involves killing people, like, are they going to defend against the cataclysm by doing mass sacrifices if they get the chance? Are they going to be kidnapping people off the streets? Though the Lady is clearly powerful, I am uncertain she is all that Lucia makes her out to be. The Lady promised Lucia that she had a plan for me. Doubtless, it was that I would see her logic and aid her in her conquest. But the fact that I am here, chronicling this, proves that the Lady is not all-knowing. She does not have the world bending to her will, and that should give us enough hope. Also, another bridge has been drawn that is sure to change the world as we see it. Previously, we had established that the Mascherines were once dimenticati. We established that the mists were an essential component of the Fae. Now we learn that the mists of Amber are the remnants of the Mascherines that dissipate upon the wearer's death. Mascherines are the same essence as Fae, the souls of the dimenticati. I have given the Fae instructions to find the rest of the Treror. It makes me uncomfortable that all we can do now is wait for his return, but we must not forget to rest while we can. Unfortunately, that prospect seems slim, what with Vince's arrival and the news she brought. Here's hoping we can actually rely on a Masquerine in the first place, even if it is trustworthy and so on. Oh, now the Vasco entry shows up. My entire life thus far has been an attempt to disengage. When I was young, my brother and I kept the shadows of the streets. We hunted where the other children would not. We stole from the houses that were the targets of no others. This was a choice I made for us, because I believed that the fewer ties we developed with the world around us, the less they had to hurt us with. And I was right. I spent so much time watching how the children of street gangs were abused and abandoned, cheated and taken advantage of by the very people they'd come to trust. I refused to let that happen to us, and it never did. What's more, we earned enough on the side to keep the family afloat. I had no reason to believe that there was anything wrong with the way I'd been living. Cyrus was very different. He'd always believed on relying on others for help, on standing as part of a group because there was strength in unity. But I was the older one. We did things my way. Things never really changed for me, even as I matured. When I joined the Portieri, I made few friends and even fewer enemies. As an inspectory, there weren't that many of us to begin with, and our lives revolved around independent axes. When the other inspectores and I had to pick assignments, I'd rarely ever chosen diplomatic ones. My forte has always been solitary investigation. Instead of immersing myself in society, I chose to surround myself in shadow to keep the ties I had with the world around me thin. It was a habit. It kept me from being accountable for things in the chaotic world that were beyond my control. Until now. Perhaps living this way for so long has fostered in me the belief that it might have been possible for me to divorce myself from the world. I would be my own person, independent and free from responsibility. It was a coward's lie. A coward who was too afraid to face the weight of the truth, that it was an impossibility. We breathe the air of the world, eat the fruits of the trees, step on the earths and soils. By those immutable facts, we impact the world. No matter how deep a hole we try to isolate ourselves in, we are accountable for the influence that we have on those around us, no matter if it was inflicted by our design or by uncontrollable circumstance. Vasco salted for me, but I don't know why or what he was thinking. But he did. And now I am forced to reckon with my actions. Going to Lucia, trying to keep my ties with these people, with these friends of mine, I dare call them, as thin as possible, was foolish. I had spent some time around these people, had fostered with them some sort of connection no matter how deep. Did I truly think I could erase that simply by running away? It cannot be clearer to me now that my attempt at cutting them out of my life, for both their sakes and mine, has only inflicted bitter wounds upon us all, wounds that, most frustratingly, weren't even necessary. How much longer can I run? How many more people around me will I have to hurt before I learn that cowardice damns us all? This must stop. I cannot afford to run anymore. For the sake of those around me, for them, I must commit. I don't know what else I can do for Vasco as reparation, but this is a good start. I also wonder what we're going to learn about Vasco, by the way, because Vasco said he won't abandon us again, I think was the wording he used, and that caught us by surprise. We're running out of entries for Contadani here, aren't we? There is little justice in this world. A man in possession of such kindness and compassion should not have been dealt so bitter a hand, as if the circumstances into which he'd been born haven't been torturous enough in this world. He's had so much taken from him, and now his tattoo, a symbol of love, has been twisted into the very thing that threatens to topple his life. Yet here I stand, unsure about the role I am meant to play in this. I have the option of standing by him. I am close to Mirabas, and I'm certain she will give weight to my opinion, or I could choose to let the world have its way with him, as it's had with so many others. After all, is that not fair? So many have suffered in his position before, why should he be different? Ages I can feel my mind scrambling for excuses to simplify the turmoil in my heart. I know what has happened to him is not right. I know he deserves better, but why must I be the one to give that to him? I feel like I've been in this position before, and I have no love for it in the least. It was interesting how there was a decision posed there. It almost makes me wonder if I might make some sort of major decision at the end of each character's storyline that affects their outcome. I don't know if this game will ever will have decisions at all, honestly. It'll be interesting to see if it plays out that way or not, or if it's just or if I'm just reading too much into his indecisiveness.